I'm pretty excited to be here. My name is Ryan Casey, right? Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
My name's Dylan Roberts.
And Stephen Loftus.
We have worked here on Prince Edward Island with Big Brothers Big Sisters, the JDRF, Ronald McDonald House, who else have we worked? Children's Wish, the Kids Help Phone. We get calls quite often, and whenever we get the call to come out and dress up and share some of what we do, we're usually pretty quick to do that. So, how many of you have seen us around Prince Edward Island before today? Anyone? Seen us in parades or different spots? Dylan's got an interesting story about his first troop. So, the way that, if you're in a band, you call it a gig. If you're in your day job, you go to work. But when we go out and we put on our costumes, whether we're working for charity or we're going just walking around, we call it a troop. So we're out on official Empire business, right? Dylan's got a real interesting story about his first troop. I'll let him take it.
So my first troop, I put my armor on to take it out for a test ride. I decided to do the March of the Crows for Eric Opens. So that's the crow feathers, put them on the helmet, and I went out. And it starts around 5 or 6, whenever it starts. And it's still sunny and light out. So it starts and we're walking and the sun's going down. The visor in the helmet is a welding visor. So when it gets dark, it gets dark. So as we were walking down towards Victoria Park, I told Ryan, I can't really see very well right now. I didn't have fans in the helmet, so it started to get kind of steamy and humid in there. As the sun went down more and more, eventually I could only see shapes and silhouettes. Eventually I had no vision. And I had Ryan and another friend of mine, Rand. He ended up joining me on the left side. So I was completely blind, walking through town for about a kilometer and a half. With Ryan, he was saying left, right, step up, step down, slow down. And Rand saying left, right, same thing on the other side.
It was hilarious. I'd say left and Rand would say right. He just went straight.
Yeah, it was at about 5% vision. The only thing I could see was the specks of streetlights. I could see nothing else.
And that's something about all of our gear. Members of the 501st Legion don't necessarily do birthdays or weddings or anything because our vision is so limited and we can't really move, we can't juggle. We're kind of stationary. We stand there and look cool. Like, that's pretty much what we do. That sort of thing.
Keep in mind too that when the original movies were filmed, the costumes were just made to look cool. They didn't care what the actors could see. They didn't care how far they had to walk. They just needed to look cool. And now that we're in the costumes far more than they ever were, and we're having all these troubles and challenges to get through. But we do it for love.
Yeah, they would have did a cut and then reset, and people would have come out and made sure that they were good and all that kind of stuff. The armor that you see down there, it didn't just come out of a box and we put it on. It did come out of a box, but it's almost like.
It's like Lego for adults.
Lego and model cars, but not all the pieces fit all the pieces because as individuals we're all different sizes. So the costumes come and then you have to form them, you have to cut them, you have to shape them to fit your body. The first costume that I had was a stormtrooper. I was the sand trooper down there. So if you saw the one that was all dirty, that was me down there. But I have a white TK as well. And when I ordered it, the guy that I ordered it from, he said, well, it's pretty much made for someone between 5'10" and 6'2", which that was the casting, the criteria for the casting call back in '76 when they needed the stormtroopers on set. So I said, well, I'm not that. I'm 5'6" on a good day. So I had to cut the back of the shins, the back of the thighs, the top of the thighs, and I really had to shrink it down so it would fit me. Now, when you look at a picture of me, it looks like it should fit. If I stand next to someone that is 6'2", it's obvious that I'm not 6'2", right? But when I'm all alone, it looks like it should. So, your story.
Okay, so before I knew of the 501st, but I hadn't really considered joining. And my favorite character from Star Wars is the TIE Fighter pilots from the first film, New Hope. And I wanted to just buy the helmet, and I was going to put the helmet on display in my room, and that was where it was going to sit. And then I decided, Halloween coming up. What if I just got the chest piece and found a few other parts, and I ordered, from eBay and various sources. I got gloves, I got boots, I got the flight suit. I completed the look when I went to Halloween, and that was that. I was just happy to have the costume. And then a fellow I used to work with, who works with a hockey team, because he's a Star Wars fan, every year he would put on a Star Wars themed hockey event. And in this case, it was the Moncton Wildcats. And he saw my costume because we worked together, saw pics on Facebook. He says, hey, I got a group of people coming down from various places, and we're going to have this big Star Wars event. And I like your costume, why don't you come down and join them? So I came in, and that's where I met some of these folks for the first time. And the squad leader at the time was kind of pressuring me afterwards, saying, hey, you just need to change a couple things, you'll be compliant, and you can join our group, and then you can get in on this charity stuff with us. So that's what that was. And so I got everything else together for that costume, and I joined up in August of last year, and this is now my third official troop that I've been out with the guys. It's great.
Back 2016, I ended up joining. There was a sale on the armor I had from Lenovo's, but it was still only until May 4th. I was debating, should I buy this thing or should I not buy this thing? So I was starting to figure out the 501st a bit. So I pulled the trigger. My birthday's May 12th. It's happy birthday, Dylan. Now you have Stormtrooper. So then a couple months later, I was waiting for his pre-order. I see Ryan here. I didn't know who he was. But he was dressed up in his armor, reading a comic and Comic Hunter, so it came into my feed. So I was like, oh, hey man, I just bought one of those too. And 2 months later, Ryan messaged me, he goes, oh, I saw me in my armor, do you want to come over to my place and look at it and learn more about the 501st? And I was like, I do want to come look at your armor, because I was actually going to message him when I got it, or a month before I got it, and say, what do I do now? How do I put this box of plastic together? And it's gone on from there.
It kind of brings up a good point, is membership in the 501st Legion. So there's really two criteria that are stringent. The first one is you have to be 18 years of age. That's the first one. And I don't think anyone's
Or older.
Or older, yes. Not just for 18-year-old people, you can be older as well. But the other thing is you need a screen-accurate costume. So when Steven says that back in 77 and 80 and 83, and even for the newer movies that came out in 99 since on, we as an organization have grouped online and shared information about details right down to the millimeter about costumes. And part of our goal is to make the experience for people who are seeing us as authentic as it possibly can be. So that when you see us, whether we're down here at the Delta or we're in a parade, you say, wow, that person could have came right out of that movie. So we work really diligently in making sure that we have that. The troopers that we saw here today, we had 5 stormtroopers. And I believe they were all from episode 4, New Hope. I think that's what it was. So, an example of how precise it is, there are different stormtrooper costumes for A New Hope, for Empire Strikes Back, and for Return of the Jedi. Someone who doesn't know the differences might not recognize the differences, but if you're in the 501st Legion and you want to be a stormtrooper from The Empire Strikes Back, you have to get the costume that's for The Empire Strikes Back. You just can't take one from A New Hope and change it into The Empire Strikes Back, because there are changes that happen in the moldings and in the pulls and in the development of the costume. Are we okay? Okay. Just backing us up? Okay, all right. It's really neat. If you go home tonight and you put in the movies, like we probably will, watch a little bit of A New Hope, and you'll see that the brow, that we call them the teeth on there. Can you show us where your teeth are? Can you point to your teeth? Right there, up on top. They're gray. And then
It's the only one that they're gray. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi is solid black.
yeah. And if you look at the edges of the stormtrooper stuff over here, this is from A New Hope. There's like a bubble or a lip on the edges of all the TK armor in Return of the Jedi. So there's definitely differences. We had Darth Vader down here today, and that Darth Vader was from The Empire Strikes Back. That is different from Darth Vader in A New Hope. It's different from Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, and it's different from Rogue One and Revenge of the Sith. There's lots of Darth Vaders. There's lots of Darth Vaders. It's awesome. And having Brian Muir here today is fantastic as well. We got to pick his brains a little bit. What about first memories of Star Wars? Why are you in this? What's going on? What inspired you with Star Wars starting very early on?
I'm old enough to have seen the original run in 1977. I was 6 years old, and that's where my everyone gets a Legion ID, and my ID is 77006 because I was 6 years old in 77. And I was blown away when they showed the TIE fighters attacking the Millennium Falcon when it escaped from the Death Star, and just seeing the stormtroopers were cool enough as it was, but then you saw the black stormtrooper face, and it's got these very big hoses that are coming off its helmet. Like, I was mesmerized by that. And so when the costume became available, I built my money up, and like that's what I'm spending it on. I want that TIE fighter pilot. I had action figures of various sizes over the years, and now I can actually be the action figure. And who doesn't want that? That's why we dress up.
I basically love science fiction, everything. With Star Wars, it's become such a behemoth, it's so big. I love all the messages behind all science fiction. To be able to join an organization like the 501st, the Rugby community, raise money for various charities, and just go to all these awesome events. It's really great. And then you get to build the armor, that's fun. Just everything about it.
What's your TK ID?
39526, which spells my name. And I actually didn't remember it one time. I was over at Ryan's, and his little boy Patrick over there runs over and he's like, "Your number is TK 39526.
I don't know how he got that.
Me neither.
My 10-year-old stalker, right? Star Wars stalker. So, Steve mentioned his TK ID. Dylan mentioned his. Mine is 51978. So when your costume is approved, we'll talk about the approval process in just a moment, but when you're approved with your costume, you're given the choice of picking from 00001 all the way up to 99,999, 3 numbers, if they still exist. Because with 13,000 members all around the world, numbers disappear, right? No one else can be 51978 now. So what we do is we look at the list, and usually people take something like their birthday, or they take something special like their name. Mine is my birthday. I was born in May 1978, so it's 51978. I was born 1 year and 1 day after the release of Star Wars, originally. And I tell my parents that quite often.
It's kind of in your DNA.
It's in my DNA. Yeah. Funny thing. Star Wars is a family event, I guess, for a lot of people in the 501st Legion. These people here and the people that are around, we don't see each other every day, but when we come together to troop, to get together, it's just like one big happy family. But when we go home, it's a big part of our family as well. Now, I mentioned my parents. I actually took my parents to see Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, for their 25th wedding anniversary. I thought nothing could be more romantic than Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn, right?
And Jar Jar Binks.
And Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks. So, I actually, this is kind of a dream come true for me, that get to sit up on stage with a microphone and talk about Star Wars. It's pretty cool, right? I've been preparing for this for about 33 years, right? So if I ever needed a toothbrush, it had to be a Star Wars toothbrush. If I needed salt and pepper shakers, it was Star Wars salt and pepper shakers. So, anyways, I remember it was May 19th, 1999. I bought the tickets for my parents. I bought the tickets for myself and my sister. And we went down to Dartmouth Cinema 6, I think Dartmouth Cinema 6, 2 hours before the movie started. Because I was sure it was going to sell out. Right? This is Star Wars, huge. And there was about 25 people who showed up. 25 people. So, of course, we go into the theater about a half hour early before the movie started, and I just started to go on Star Wars and this and that and all this stuff. So after the movie was done, and we all came out of the theater, and I was bouncing up and down the aisle because I just loved the movie so much, and I was just the sound and the sights and this double-edged lightsaber was fantastic. The Halifax Daily News is there. And they started asking questions to people coming out, oh, what do you think about the new Star Wars movie? What do you think of this new Star Wars movie? And they turned to me and said, you have to talk to that guy right there. So this is kind of like the dream come true. I've been waiting 33 years and I've got 2 opportunities to chat with Star Wars. Right? What's your best troop? Your most favorite troop? Or your
I've only done 3.
but take the experience.
The experience?
Yeah.
Halcon last October. That was probably my favorite. It was, a 2-day event. I used to live in Halifax. I live in New Brunswick now, but I came down for it. And as the first official troop, like I said, I went to the Moncton Wildcats thing and I met some of the 501st for the first time, which was great. But now I was actually officially part of it, and just everything was new to me. So the whole charity angle was kind of new as far as like how do they go about it, what do they do this for. The setup that we had a large Death Star style wall. We had a similar backdrop where you guys were shooting stormtroopers there today. And it was just seeing people come down and seeing the kids especially, it's like, there's a stormtrooper, there's Darth Vader, there's this character, that character. We had a photo lineup at the end of that at Halcon, and there was 22 or 23 of us in the picture. That's astounding. Like, I've never seen that many costumes, and I'm a part of this thing right now. It was an amazing experience. When the con was done, the group of us would go out and we would have supper together, we'd talk about this and that. It wasn't always just a Star Wars topic, but the camaraderie is instant. Like you don't have to make friends. You just drop into a group of friends that already exist, and it's a really fantastic experience.
It's hard for me to decide which one's my favorite. I've been on quite a few here in PBI. We kind of get most of them from the Maritimes, and I think one of my favorites would probably be, I got 2. So we'll go with the Santa Claus Parade, which is just amazing. There's tens of thousands of people out there, and it is at night, so I made a different lens so I can see them. You can see perfectly. I took some green cellophane that you have in binders, and I just cut that out and made something. Perfect. My other favorite would have to probably be the Children's Risk Superhero Party that we did, just because of what that represents and what we're raising money for, and just how they decorate the room and what they could do with balloons to decorate it. It was our first time with banners and trying to make Blaster Trooper. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we set it all up and it worked really well with all the kids that were there and had a really good time.
Yeah, it's pretty special when you go someplace and you can see the reaction of people, and you can see how us being there, it affects them, but they can't see that you're emotional underneath your mask. I had an opportunity a couple of years ago to go to Ronald McDonald House in Halifax. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it here on stage. But one mother came up and said, my son hasn't smiled in 3 days. And you're like, what do you say to that? I'm just a guy wearing a costume, but we made a difference on that particular day, and that keeps us going. When that email comes in and someone wants us to go out, we just go with it, because we know that those small pick-me-ups can be huge. We say they're small, but they can be huge to someone who actually needs them. To be honest, it's not always the children that respond the most to us, adults.
Sometimes they get the most excited.
Right?
Many more times than the kids usually.
They hug us. They mom us. They come and they give us big hugs and all this stuff, and they say, I watched you when you were, in 1977. And I said, well, I wasn't born then. It wasn't me, but it's fantastic. My favorite troop, aside from the emotional side of things, I had an opportunity to troop a Weird Al Yankovic concert in Moncton back, I think it was in 2015, maybe, something like that. And Weird Al, for many, many years, what he would do is, as they travel around, they get in contact with different garrisons, and they would invite 501st Legion members up on stage for Al's encore. He sings all his songs, does all his costume changes and all that, and then one of his encore pieces has been the Saga Ends, which is all about the Phantom Menace and Anakin Skywalker and pod racing and all that. And he brings the 501st and we do a little dance. So I showed up in Moncton probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We had to be in the building by about 5, pass through security, get up on stage, do the choreography, wait for the entire show to happen, and then we get our one song with Al on stage. Then afterwards, he comes back, he gets a quick shower, all that stuff, comes back, he signs things, takes pictures with us, and if you look at the screen that we have down, there's a bunch of pictures from Weird Al. So, I mean, that's hard to top. Canada Day in North Rustico is pretty special as well. It's pretty fantastic. Doing
Just to add to the Weird Al thing, I was actually in the audience before I joined the 501st, and I watched that performance, and I was like, oh my god, look at the costumes, this is so fantastic. And now I virtually know all of those people.
Yeah. At that point, there was only 4 of us in the Maritimes, and we were Canadian Garrison members. So since then, we've gone to squad status, and now the Atlantic Garrison, so it's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's huge. This is fantastic here though today. I don't know what everyone's expectations was for the IEX, but walking around here today, the amount of people and the passion that people have for the costumes, it's just been truly, more than I could have expected. Coming here today, I didn't know what to expect because it's March in Prince Edward Island, but you see all these wonderful costumes and stories and relationships, and I'm so glad that the island is doing this and that Alex and his team have brought this here. It's absolutely fantastic.
They've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Like, especially for first year doing something like this.